Broadcasting live from the Meridix Veolia Studio Broadcast Center at Centennial Sportsplex. This is GNASH Hockey on the Middle Tennessee Sports Network. And we've got ourselves the first doubleheader Wednesday of the season to wrap up the first week of the regular season. Mount Juliet-Wilson Central-Lebanon taking on Ensworth-Lipscomb-CPA. And then in the nightcap, it's JP2 MLK-GCS taking on Page Summit. Will either one of those two games live up to the incredible finish between Nolensville and Indy Centennial on Monday? Jackson Malleus-Mayer scoring the winning goal for the Knights with just 3.8 seconds left in the game to give them what would be their only lead of the game. So yeah, these two games tonight have something to live up to, and I don't know. I don't think I should set the bar too high. I don't think we'll have a finish like that again for a bit. Zamboni's out on the ice, so let's do what we always do in pregame once we get the season going, and that is go over the scores from the other day. Father Ryan beat Brentwood BAUSN 5-2. Ravenwood beat Hendersonville Beach Lawson 8-4. Franklin beat Mount Juliet-Wilson Central-Lebanon 5-0. Montgomery Bell beat the Tennessee Outlaws 9-1. Station Camp Liberty Creek Nashville Christian beat Rutherford Rampage 6-4. And like I mentioned, Nolensville beat Independence Centennial 3-2. So let's check the standings. With those games in the books, we've got 6 teams all at 1-0, all ranked by goal difference. In order, they are MBA, Franklin, Ravenwood, Father Ryan, Station Camp, Liberty Creek, Nashville Christian, and Nolensville. And then the 6 teams that are ranked 0-1 by goal difference: Indy Centennial, the Rampage, Brentwood BAUSN, Hendersonville, Mount Juliet, and the Outlaws. And sitting in the middle, 4 teams all still sitting at the starting line: the Kings, Clarksville Kings, Ensworth, JP2 and Page Summit. Ensworth, JP2 and Page Summit all get off the starting line tonight. Clarksville will finally get off the starting line next Wednesday. So just 2 games on the schedule this evening. That Mount Juliet-Ensworth game up first at 7:10, and then at 8:40 it'll be JP2 and Page Summit. Pregame for that will start at 8:30. So let's talk about the 2 teams playing the first game of our doubleheader. Mount Juliet-Wilson Central-Lebanon did not have a chance, didn't do that game on Monday between they and Franklin. So we got to talk about how things during the off season. Let me pull the newsletter from, I think it's February the 11th, yeah, because I think they got knocked out. Yeah, they got knocked out by Indy on February 10th. So Mount bye to a couple of key players from that team that went to back-to-back Preds Cup finals not too long ago: Bobby Camos and Carson Slocum. They also said goodbye to Andrew Huffine, and even though they got him from the Outlaws, one of their goaltenders, Kaz Cronrath, said goodbye to him as well. Last year was his only season in GNASH. He was I don't remember where he went. Anyway, they brought back pretty good crop of talent. Let me pull my roster out of my backpack here. Here it is. Got 5 rosters in there so far. So they bring back Jackson Blevins, Shoria Aurora, Sam Long, the Spencer twins, Carter and Reed, Parker Triplett, Trenton Gorell, Ethan Smith, Jacob Turner, Jason Tippins, Jack Boyett, who was our number 2 goalie last year. He's back on the roster. They managed to bring in another goalie of their own, Shepard Holsey, Mount Juliet freshman, so they have their own goaltending tandem. They also brought back Anthony Giampaolo, even though he's not playing tonight, and I'll explain why in a moment. But the big return, Jordan Antar. Jordan Antar was their leading scorer in 2023-24. Then he moved to New Jersey last year to play for the Titans, the New Jersey Titans in junior hockey. But he has come back to Mount Juliet for his farewell season, and that is a big, big boost for the Mount Juliet offense. Alex Walker in his third season as head coach. Unfortunately, they lost 5-0 to Franklin on Monday night, so none of their skaters have any points. I have a feeling that's going to change tonight. So let's go over the goaltending stats for the moment. Oh, Alex Alsaker, he's back too for his senior year. The seniors this year are Jackson Blevins, Parker Triplett, Trenton Gorell, Jordan Antar, Jacob Turner, Jason Tippins, Alex Alsaker, and Anthony Giampaolo. So they got a big senior class. They might be hurting again next year. I don't know. Okay. So Jack Boyett, his record, he was in goal against Franklin on Monday. His record on the season matches the team's 0-1-0. No wins, one loss, no ties. He played the full 42 minutes, goals against average of 5 even. He allowed 5 goals and 28 shots, turned away the other 23. His save percentage in the regular season so far is .821. I wonder if Alex Walker will give Shepard Holsey a go in goal tonight, as he will try and get him some playing time. Anthony Giampaolo is not playing tonight. He is suspended. Wild second period on Monday between they and Franklin. What I was told was Anthony Giampaolo had Cole Wright down and was punching on him, and Michael Mannion came in and started punching on Anthony Giampaolo. So Anthony Giampaolo is suspended for 2 games. He's suspended 1 game for getting a major and a game misconduct for fighting, and he's got another game for 4 penalties in a game. And I imagine Michael Mannion is going to get the same punishment, which I know Todd Gross won't like, because that means that he's going to miss the game. That means Michael Mannion would miss the game, Franklin's game against Nolensville on October 20th. And that's a pretty big game for Franklin if they want to win the GNASH Cup regular season championship. Let's move on to Ensworth-Lipscomb-CPA, coached by Tim McAllister, although I haven't seen Tim yet tonight, so I don't know if he's here. Of course, the big story, Nolensville departing that co-op. They'd been together. Ensworth and Nolensville had been together since the 2019-20 season. No, 2018-19 season. Lipscomb joined the fray in 2020-2021, I think. Yeah. And then they were together for 5 seasons. Yeah, 5 seasons, and then Nolensville departed. Not too long after the season ended, Nolensville departed to form a Scholastic team. So all that Nolensville talent that the team had last year left. You're talking about, let me get my Nolensville roster out. You're talking about Spencer Kern, Henry Cravens, Jackson Malleus-Mayer, Heath Hudie, Joseph Simonetti, Emmett Zakos, Bingston Soundara, of course, Charlie Bonnert, and Logan Campbell. Of course, Ensworth-Nolensville-Lipscomb didn't have any seniors last year. Now, there were a couple of Ensworth players that didn't come back to this year's team. Beckett Adams, who I thought was a key defenseman for them, and Jacob Francie, who would have been a senior this year, they didn't come back. So it was more than just the Nolensville kids, but not really that many. However, they do bring back Trex Hooper, Jack Stooner, Cam Fowler, Lucas Tarquin, Hudson Honeybone, Henry Azer, Will Copeland, Logan Green. And Reuben Allen is their only goalie at the moment. They're in the same boat as Brentwood. They have 1 goalie. But they also brought bringing in CPA, they brought a couple of really good players into the fold. Saxon Clements and Clayton Roach especially. Clayton Roach is going to give them a big boost on offense. But, yeah, Ruben Allen is not playing tonight, and Maddie Cox from the Tennessee Outlaws, who is in the goalie pool. She's not assigned to a team. She's in the goalie pool. She is going to be playing for the Ice Tigers this evening. So that's how that's going to go. And I'm wondering if Alex Walker will give Shepard Halsey a start, since this could be a goal fest. I don't know. We'll see. The officials are out here. We're just waiting on them to give the signal. The 3-minute warm-up clock is up. Ensworth team also has 3 8th graders. Talon Gill, William Towery, and Tashka owns different horses. And a few more newcomers. Sully Henson, Austin Regal, Asher Warren. So this Ensworth team has 20 players on it. 20 rostered players. I think they can add more before Christmas. I think there's a no, actually, I'm not really sure how that works. All right, Mount Juliet out on the ice warming up. And here come Ensworth. Tonight they are wearing white, the white Lipscomb uniforms with a Lipscomb Academy logo with a Mustang on it. Warm-up clock is now rolling. Now, a couple of these Ensworth players, a couple of the Lipscomb players, Cam Fowler and Will Copeland, are probably not going to be around for a couple more months. They're focusing on football right now, so they probably won't be here until Lipscomb's football season is over. That's nothing new. A lot of the private schools have players who are focusing on football when the season begins. Go ahead and tell you that next week, Monday, we got a doubleheader. 4:35 pregame for a 4:45 face-off between Franklin and Brentwood here on Rink A, and then we're going to take a break, move things over to Rink B, and bring you Page and Ravenwood at 7:30, 7:40 face-off. And then next Wednesday, Mount Juliet against Hendersonville, 8:30 pregame, 8:40 face-off. We're going to skip the Station Camp Clarksville game that happens before it. And then, of course, the 2 weeks after that, a lot of the schools have their fall break, so much of the league not getting any games. There are only 2 games on October 6th. And then the week after that, there are 3 games on October 13th and 1 on October 15th. They were all originally scheduled for October 13th, but the Indy Summit game or Indy Page game got moved to Wednesday the 15th. So that's why that happened. Or That's why that happened. I don't know. Well, I didn't. That's what's, that was the big change to the schedule. Warm-up clock is done. Ready to go with the start of this one, and indeed, Shepard Hulsey making his GNASH debut tonight in goal for Mount Juliet. Like I said, Matty Cox going to play in goal tonight for Ensworth in place of Ruben Allen. For this first period, Ensworth will carry the puck from my left to right, and Mount Juliet from my right to left. And Ensworth won the draw, but Mount Juliet immediately take it, get it into the Ensworth zone. Talongill trying to clear it out, and it's held up. Jordan Antar tried to drop it back to Winston Hudson, but it went out to center. And now is Hudson Honeybone, left wing side of the Mount Juliet zone, taking a shot, turned away by Shepard Hulsey. Right away, he's being called to make a save. Now the puck out in front of the net again, knocked away from Trex Hooper. Now here's Winston Hudson back into the Ensworth zone, defended well, and the puck taken away, but Antar's going to get to it in the left wing corner. Nope, I thought he was going to. Hudson Honeybone got in there and sent the puck around to the far wall. Puck in the right wing corner. Antar puts it out in front. Oh, and Carter Spencer at the right-hand side of the net knocks it wide of the post to Cox's left. Puck cleared out by Lucas Tarquin, and Trex Hooper touches it up at the Mount Juliet blue line to kill off the icing. Hooper was stopped just above the right wing corner waiting for his teammates because Ensworth were making a line change. Mount Juliet come up with a puck, pass attempt, knocked down inside the zone. And a shot from the top of the left circle block. Taking that shot for Ensworth was Logan Lakoff, one of the CPA players. He was not on the Pope roster, JP2 roster last year. Of course, all the CPA players were grandfathered onto the JP2 roster. Logan Lakoff was not one of them. Poke over on the near side of the Mount Juliet zone. Bears trying to clear it out, held in at the left point by William Towery. Puck carried up to the blue line. Henry Azer, a shot from out high, Blockered into the netting above the glass by Shepard Hulsey, and that brings about the first whistle with 1 minute and 48 seconds off the clock. Maddie Cox again in goal tonight for Reuben Allen for Ensworth. She is a senior at Battle Creek High School down in Spring Hill. Again, she is in the goalie pool, meaning that she is called up if a team needs a goalie for a specific game rather than being on a roster all year, being drafted onto a roster all year. Her younger sister, Alice, sophomore at Battle Creek, is a forward for the Outlaws. And Maddie was on the roster for USN, I think in 2023-2024. They needed a backup, so they picked her for the season. It's good to see her getting some playing time in her farewell year. As here's Reed Spencer, top of the left circle, a shot, missed the net high and wide to the left of Cox. And the puck brought out to center, but sent right back in by Mount Juliet. Picked up behind the net by Sam Melnikoff. And turned over to Jackson Blevins. Sends it back down deep. Melnikoff tapping it around the wall to the far side. Sully Henson clears it out. Sully Henson, the other CPA player on the roster. He and Lakoff are the newcomers. Saxon Clements and Clayton Roach, of course, very familiar to those of us in GNASH. Roach and Clements are both seniors. Puck now back in the Mount Juliet zone, immediately cleared out by the Bears. Hudson Honeybone with it inside the Ice Tiger zone, goes around the back of his own net and immediately starts sprinting out to center, goes past Winston Hudson, racing into the Mount Juliet zone on the left wing side, goes out towards the boards, sends it across the front of the net from the bottom of the left circle, but it was deflected away, I think by Mount Juliet. Sick puck put out in front, and a shot blocked in. Here come the Bears again. Dump back into the Ensworth zone. Icing, though. Ethan Smith was just behind the red line when he dumped it in. So they'll have the draw inside the Mount Juliet zone. 10:34 to go in the first. No goals on the board just yet. Mount Juliet do not have a shot on goal just yet. Draw is going to be to the right of Shepard Hulsey. And it is won by Ensworth. And a shot from the left point, stopped and covered up by Hulsey. That is from Talon Gill, one of the new Ensworth players. He's one of the 3 8th graders on the roster. Draw is going to be to Hulsey's right. Draw one by Ensworth again. Puck around the back of the net. Lucas Tarquin tried to put it out in front. It was knocked off his stickers. Trex Hooper on the near side. Carrying it out towards the blue line, and he's forced to go out to center because Winston Hudson put a body on him. Now he tries to hand it off to Hudson Honeybone. Puck is inside the Ensworth zone. Jordan Antar sends it down into the left wing corner, but Gill is there to pick it up, and he'll bring it out. Gill out at center, over the red line, and dumps it into the Mount Juliet zone. It's at the inboards. Jackson Blevins going to carry it around to the far side, bank it off the far kick plate, try and get it out. It's brought out to center by Gavin Costanza, one of the new members of this Mount Juliet team, but he got knocked over. The puck is carried out of the Ensworth zone by Clayton Roach. Up, but offside. Roach passed it ahead to Austin Regal, who was in the zone ahead of the puck. And that stops the clock with 9:29 to go in the first, and no goals on the board just yet. Ensworth still leading Mount Juliet on shots on goal, 3-0. Draw's going to be on the dot in front of the Mount Juliet bench. One by Ensworth. Dumped into the Mount Juliet zone down low by Henry Azer. Bears come up with it. Here's Reed Spencer, left wing side of the Ensworth zone. Gets off a shot from the left wing boards that's stopped by Cox as she closed the 5-hole. Wasn't a very hard shot. And here's Clayton Roach leaving it for Regal on the left wing side of the Mount Juliet zone, but he got knocked down. Puck kept alive by Azer. Nope, it went over the blue line. And Clayton Roach, one of the linesmen, had his hand up for offside, and Roach did not heed the warning. And they're going to call it intentional offside and drop the puck to the right of Matty Cox. 8:46 to go in the first. Still no goals on the board. Draw one by Mount Juliet, but immediately turned over to Ensworth. Here's Hudson Honeybone carrying it to center. Honeybone into the Mount Juliet zone on the left wing side. A shot stopped by Shepard Hulsey. Jackson Blevins out at center with it now for Mount Juliet. Now here's Ethan Smith, right wing side of the Ensworth zone. Dumbing it down to the wall, or inboards behind the net. And Ensworth come up with it out to center. Hudson Honeybone passing it ahead to Sully Henson, who deflects it into the Mount Juliet zone. And Mount Juliet get the puck out again. Ooh, Jordan Antar nearly went offside, or Shorio Aurora and Ethan Smith were both over the blue line. And then Antar turns it over at center and unable to get off a shot as he carried the puck into the Mount Juliet zone with Sam Melnikov, and Hulsey stumbled backwards and knocked the net loose, dislodged it, so the whistle blown for that. 7:43 to go in the first. Still waiting on the game's first goal. Draw was on the dot across from the Mount Juliet bench at center. One by Ensworth, dumped into the Mount Juliet zone. It's on the far side in the left wing corner. Bears getting it around the wall, trying to work it close to the blue line and get it out. Held in at the right point by Trex Hooper. Now the puck put out in front for Hooper, and a shot blocked by skates of a defender in front of Mount Juliet defender. Not sure who it is just yet. Another shot turned away by Hulsey. I think it was Parker Triplett who made that block in front. Now back the other way comes Winston Hudson. Oh, but he's pulled on as he was bringing the puck into the Ensworth zone. He's hooked. Draws a penalty. And it's going to be Trex Hooper going into the box. So first power play of the game for Mount Juliet. 7:03 to go in the first. No goals on the board. Draws to Cox's left. One by Mount Juliet. Jordan Antar right point with a shot through traffic blocked. Hit a body in front, went into the right wing corner. Here's Ethan Smith bringing the puck around to the near side. Near the wall. Works his way up to the blue line now. Starts working back down the left wing boards and decides to cross the goal line now. Reverses and a shot from Jackson Blevins. Stopped by Cox with the right leg pad. Rebound. Oh, sent wide. Sent wide of the post to Cox's left by Trenton Gorell. And then Gorell tried to pass it up to the blue line, but Jordan Antar couldn't keep it in the zone. Gorell will dump it back in from the blue line. And Ensworth gets to the puck. They try and clear. It's held in by Blevins. Puck of the inboards. And Ensworth finally clear the puck. It's Logan Lakoff getting it out. Under a minute left in the power play for the Bears. Puck in their zone, Jackson Blevins. Passes it off. Now it's sent out to center, but right to the stick of Hudson Honeybone. And Honeybone brings it into the Ensworth zone on the left wing side. Moves back out towards the blue line. Passes down the left wing side. Puck carried to the front of the net. A shot stopped by Hulsey. That was from Lucas Tarquin. Under 30 seconds left in the power play for Mount Juliet, who gave up a shorthanded chance there, but Hulsey bailed them out. Puck back in the Ensworth zone. Antar tried to put it out in front, but Carter Spencer couldn't get a stick on it. Puck drifts out to center. Mount Juliet got to clear the zone. It's back inside the Ensworth end. Picked up by Honeybone, though. Hudson Honeybone will carry it to center. Into the Mount Juliet zone on the left wing side. Goes to the front of the net. Stopped by Hulsey. Rebound. Oh, sent wide by Tarquin from in front. Power play time, or penalty time against Ensworth is up. They're back at even strength. Here's Trex Hooper. Passing it off. Azer shot stopped by Halsey. Hit off his left leg pad. And the puck goes out to center on the far side. Puck in the right wing corner of the Ensworth zone. Clayton Forbes passing it over to the near side. And now Trex Hooper will carry it out to center. Hooper, right wing side of the Mount Juliet zone, goes below the goal line, around the back of the net. Comes back out to the left wing side. Trying to find some room. Leaves it. There's a shot through traffic, blocked in front. I think it hit Trenton Gorell. That shot came from Asher Warren at the right point. Puck held in at the left point. And a shot from Clayton Forbes misses the net to the right of Halsey. Puck out at center. Here's Jordan Antar bringing it into the Ensworth zone. Gets around a defender. Antar in front of backhander. Stopped by Cox with a left leg pad, and then his rebound flipped it over her. But it went across the front of the net and away. Here's Trex Hooper. Offside. Hooper had to maneuver around a defender. Teammate went over the blue line ahead of him. That triggers the offside whistle with 3:40 to go in the first. That was Sam Melnikov going in the zone ahead of Hooper. 3:40 to go in the first. No goals on the board. Draws on the dot in front of the Mount Juliet bench. Won by Ensworth, and they dump it into the Mount Juliet zone. And the puck was in the Mount Juliet zone, and we got both referees with their hands in the air, and somebody's going to the box. I think it's a Mount Juliet player. It's Parker Triplett going to the box for hooking. So Ensworth get their first power play of the season. No goals on the board just yet. 3:28 to go in the first. Draw is going to be to Halsey's right. Now Juliet with the puck off the draw, trying to get it out of their zone. Force Ensworth to regroup, but Ensworth turn it over. Hudson Honeybone holds it in at the left point, moving along the blue line now. Trying to backhand it down low, but it's intercepted and cleared by Winston Hudson. Honeybone with it again at center. The Ice Tigers clear. Here's Logan Green, right wing side of the Mount Juliet zone. A shot stopped by Halsey off his stick blade and into the netting above the glass and out of play. 89 seconds left in the power play. 2:57 to go in the first, and no goals on the board still. Draw be to Halsey's left. Won by Mount Juliet, and they clear it. And Cox will come out of the net and tap it over to Honeybone. Honeybone on the far side, passing ahead. Hooper, Hooper couldn't stretch out and get it. Puck sent the other way by Ethan Smith. Now Jordan Antar loose in the Ensworth zone, shot, score! Jordan Antar carries the puck to the high slot and fires it into the back of the net. And there's Mount Juliet's first goal of the season. It's a shorty. 2:36 to go in the first and 67 seconds left on the power play for Ensworth. As Jordan Antar scores in his return, well, not his return, that was Monday night, but in his second game back for Mount Juliet after playing in New Jersey last year. So Shepard Halsey makes 9 saves on 9 shots. And Jordan Antar cashes in when he has a good chance. Under a minute left in the power play for Ensworth now. Clayton Roach, left wing side, puts it out in front, a shot through traffic, score! Logan Lakoff scoring his first GNASH goal. He got the puck just inside the right circle near the face-off dot. Fires it through traffic into the back of the net. And it takes Ensworth just 23 seconds to answer. It's a power play goal, and it's 1-1 with 2:13 to go in the first. Draw one by Ensworth. And the puck dumped into the Mount Juliet zone. Oh, there's going to be another penalty. Jacob Turner getting knocked down by William Towery. Is it Towery or is it no? It's Sully Henson, actually, looks like. Yeah, it is Henson. Not sure what the call was. But Mount Juliet back in the power play with 2 minutes to go in the first. And the game tied at 1. Draw is going to be to Matty Cox's right. One by Ensworth, and they clear it out. The game clock and the penalty clock are in sync. Here's Lucas Tarquin with a puck. Trying to backhand it into the slot for Trex Hooper. Mount Juliet player laid out and broke that up. Good thing, too, because Hooper had nobody covered him as he was going down the slot to the front of the net. And puck back in the Ensworth zone, cleared out by Hooper. It's on goal. Hulsey had to turn it away. Tarquin getting knocked down at center. Puck back in the Ensworth zone on the right wing side. Put out in front for Antar, but he was defended well by Asher Warren, who knocked the puck away from him. That was Shoria Aurora on the centering pass attempt. Minute left in both the period and on the power play for Mount Juliet as Trex Hooper clears the puck out from just above the high slot. Both sides will make changes. Shoria Aurora tracks it down. The puck out in front, score! Puck out in front of the Mount Juliet net. And I'm not sure who it is just yet who scored, but it's a shorthanded goal, and it is now 2-1 Ensworth. It's Austin Regal scoring his first GNASH goal. Puck came right out in front to him, and he fires it in. 2-1 Ensworth with 39.1 seconds left in the first and 38 seconds left in the power play for Mount Juliet. So they give up a shorthanded goal. Puck deep in the Mount Juliet zone, under 30 seconds left in both the power play and the first period. Puck sent back into the Ensworth zone. Could be icing, it is. Mount Juliet player with a diagonal forward cross-ice pass attempt. From his own blue line, it was Jacob Turner. Dumping it into the Ensworth zone with nobody there. So the draw is going to be to the right of Hulsey. One by Ensworth and a shot from Hudson Honeybone, stopped and held on to by Hulsey. What is Sully Henson in the box for? Roughing, okay. Draw to the right of Hulsey again. We got a Mount Juliet player down. Oh, he had, I think, Clayton Roach's stick. It was Carter Spencer. I think he had Clayton Roach's stick caught up in his legs as time runs out on both the penalty and the first period. So Ensworth back at even strength. Well, there were 3 goals scored in the first period, but they didn't come until late. Jordan Antar scoring first for Mount Juliet. But then Ensworth immediately returned the favor. Logan Lakoff scoring, and then just under a minute left in the first, it was Austin Regal putting one into the back of the net for the Ice Tigers. So Ensworth, 2 of their brand new players scoring for them, and the Ice Tigers lead Mount Juliet 2-1 at the end of 1. Second period underway. Shepard Hulsey still in goal for Mount Juliet. Matty Cox in goal for Ensworth tonight, playing in place of Ruben Allen. Mount Juliet carrying the puck from my left to right for this second period. Ensworth from my right to left. And Ensworth with the puck inside the Mount Juliet zone, but they turn it over. Here's Trenton Gurrell. Tried to clear it out. It's intercepted, held in the zone. Trex Hooper in the slot. Tried to send it in front for Logan Green. It was blocked. Puck held in and a shot attempt off a Mount Juliet stick into the netting above the glass. I think that was Tarquin who had that follow-up try. $13:28 to go in the second. 2-1 Ensworth. Draws to the left of Hulsey. Won by Mount Juliet. Jackson Blevins pushed into the boards. Puck put in front and a shot stopped by Hulsey. That shot coming from Sully Henson. Puck carried to the right circle by Sam Melnikoff. Now it's out in front of the backhander, missed from near the left-hand side of the net by Henson. Backhanded it past the post to the left of Hulsey. Here's Henson again. Right half wall, sends it around to the near side. Passed out to the blue line. Try to get it back to Henson, right circle, but it went off the back of his skates and cleared out by Mount Juliet. Puck carried into the Ensworth zone, but immediately taken back out. Sent back into the Mount Juliet end, but into the skates of Turner, Jacob Turner, and he clears. Slap back in from center by Logan Lakoff. Now Austin Regal gets knocked down, still gets off a shot from the bottom of the left circle. Then it'll be turned away by Hulsey. Puck held into the blue line, shot through traffic, score! It's William Towery. Another GNASH debutante goal for Ensworth. This one coming from William Towery. And all three schools have had a player score. Austin Regal from Lipscomb, Logan Lakoff from CPA, and William Towery from Ensworth as the Ice Tigers go up 3-1 with 12:17 to go in the second. Ensworth have dominated this game. They're leading in shots on goal 16-5. Puck in the Ensworth zone. They clear it out. Clayton Roach had it knocked off his stick as he brought it into the Mount Juliet zone. Trenton Gurrell on the far side, passing it over to Parker Triplett, who will bring it out of the zone. Triplett whiffs, trying to dump it into the Ensworth end. Looked like he was going to get it back for a moment. Here come Ensworth to center. Brought into the Mount Juliet zone. A shot from Hudson Honeybone in the left circle. Gloved and held onto by Hulsey. 11:29 to go in the second. 3-1 Ensworth. That was a big save from Hulsey. Draws to the right of Hulsey. Won by Mount Juliet. Jacob Turner tried to clear. It went off of Trex Hooper. Hooper at the inboards with the puck now. Leaving into the left wing corner for Lucas Tarquin, who moves it around to the far side. Tried to drop it down the wall. It's intercepted and carried out by Jordan Antar. Antar back into the Ensworth zone, and the puck taken away. Mount Juliet get it back. Here's Antar on the boards. Tried to pass the slot, but it hops over the stick blade of Jackson Blevins. Puck coming back around to the far wall. Logan Green tried to tried to clear it out, but he whiffed on it. Antar, left wing corner. Tried to pass out to the blue line. It's intercepted and cleared by Ensworth, but immediately taken back by Jackson Blevins, who sends it back into the Ensworth zone, but he gives it away to, I think, Clayton Forbes. And now here's Trex Hooper in the Mount Juliet zone. Right circle shot blocked. Blocked by Jackson Blevins on the back check. Puck back in the Ensworth zone. Here's Ethan Smith, shot in the left circle, missed the net to the right of Maddie Cox. They're saying she got a piece of it. They put it up on the board, so she must have steered it away with a blocker. Now here's Trex Hooper again, left wing side of the Mount Juliet zone. Moves to the slot, and a shot from Blevins goes off of Blevins, but still came on goal. And Hulsey had to flick it over with a blocker. It went off of Blevins, kind of looped up in the air and started coming down, and Hulsey had to knock it away. Here come Ensworth again. A shot from Logan Lakoff. The high slot gloved and held on to by Hulsey. 9:45 to go in the second. 3-1 Ice Tigers. Trauby to Hulsey's left. It's won by Ensworth. William Towery banks it off the near kick plate, but it's intercepted down low and cleared out by Parker Triplett for an icing. Draw to the right of Hulsey. Won by Mount Juliet. Parker Triplett sending it around the boards to the far side. Reed Spencer brings it into the Ensworth zone on the left wing side. Hands it off. Shoria Aurora got knocked down. And a shot from Carter Spencer blocked. There's going to be a penalty on the hit against Aurora. And Mount Juliet nearly scored at the other end. Puck was behind Maddie Cox, but cleared out of the crease. And Sully Henson going to the box for roughing. So Mount Juliet returning to the power play, down 3-1 with 9:16 to go in the second. Draw is going to be to Cox's left. Won by Ensworth. And going through center with it is Austin Regal. He's now in the Mount Juliet zone, and the puck tapped away from him by Jackson Blevins. Regal gets it back, tries to center in front. Oh, and it deflects off the stick of Clayton Roach and then off the right leg pad of Hulsey. He got that right leg pad over just in time. Now Ethan Smith, right wing side of the Ensworth zone, tried to put it in front, knocked away, and brought out by the Ice Tigers again. Here's Clayton Roach. Going to the net, a shot stopped by Hulsey off his left arm. Puck coming around to the near side. Here's Ethan Smith. Smith behind the net. Got Roach all over him. Roach falls over. Smith takes the puck. Oh, but he bumps into Trenton Gorell and knocks him down. Antar gets the puck and tries to pass it back over to Smith. It's out at center. Here's Hudson Honeybone with it inside the Ensworth zone. Honeybone is going to carry it out. Minute left of the power play for Mount Juliet. Honeybone back in the Mount Juliet zone on the right wing side. Passes over to Talon Gill. Going down the left wing. Sends it around the wall to the far side. Jackson Blevins with it now. Now Blevins will carry it out to center. Tried to chip it ahead to Jordan Antar. It goes past him and deep into the Ensworth zone. 30 seconds left in the power play for Mount Juliet. Ensworth tried to clear, held in at the left point by Blevins. Now in the high slot, Winston Hudson, a shot misses the net to the right of Maddie Cox. There's a shot from Blevins, score! Puck came to Blevins just inside the top of the left circle, and he one-times it into the roof of the net to convert the power play, and it's now 3-2 Ensworth with 7:31 to go in the second. Mount Juliet with only 8 shots on goal in this one, but they're only down by a goal because of Shepard Hulsey. Draw one by Ensworth. Trex Hooper chasing it into the Mount Juliet zone. He overskates it, Here's Logan Green, right circle, a shot stopped by Hulsey. Rebound stopped by Hulsey on Hooper. Now here's Hooper passing it down to the inboards. And Logan Green puts it behind the net. Lucas Tarquin back to Green, who's behind the net himself. Puts it out in front of a one-timer from Clayton Forbes. Steered past the net by Hulsey with his blocker. Now here's Winston Hudson with a puck, passing it over to Carter Spencer. Off his stick and out to center. Now here's Trex Hubert that poked off his stick. It comes back to him. Left wing side of the Mount Juliet zone. A shot misses the net high and wide to the left of Hulsey. Puck in the left wing corner. Mount Juliet trying to clear. Clayton Forbes knocking down Winston Hudson and getting off a shot that goes across the front of the net. Now Jacob Turner clears it out to center, but it's knocked down by an Ensworth stick. Then Turner gets it back. He's in the Ensworth zone, and a shot shouldered away by Maddie Cox. Stood up and knocked it away with her left shoulder. Henry Azer out at center now. Brings the puck back into the Mount Juliet zone. Shot in the right wing. Stopped and covered up by Shepard Hulsey. 6:03 to go in the second. It is 3-2, Ensworth. Draw is going to be to Hulsey's left. Draw one by Ensworth. Puck coming around to the near side. Austin Regal will get to it. Backhand it down the left wing to Henry Azer, but Azer, I thought Kevin Costanza took it away from him. He did not. It's Clayton Roach passing up to the left point, and William Towery back down to Roach. Roach turns, gets off a shot, steered away by Hulsey. And Mount Juliet clear the puck out. Here's Shoria Aurora at center. Into the Ensworth zone on the left wing side, but good back checking by Logan Lakoff to poke the puck away. Ensworth with it again. Puck near the Mount Juliet blue line. Henry Azer trying to pass it ahead to Clayton Roach. It was intercepted by Costanza. It's back in the Ensworth zone. Immediately cleared out by the Ice Tigers, but this is going to go for an icing. It's banked off the near side boards. 5:04 to go in the second. Still 3-2. Ensworth. Shots on goal favoring Ensworth 27-9, but Shepard Hulsey has been so good in net for Mount Juliet. Yes, he's let 3 in, but on 2 of them he was screened. Mount Juliet won the draw, which is to the right of Cox. Jackson Blevins got him a shot, which he turned away. And Mount Juliet finally hit double digits in shots on goal. Past the halfway point of the game. Here's Trex Hooper, left wing side of the Mount Juliet zone. Back checking or skating backwards and try to go across to Lucas Tarquin. Went off his stick. And now back the other way come Mount Juliet on a 3-on-2. Here's Ethan Smith trying to pass it off to Winston Hudson, who kicked off the counterattack, but he whipped in the shot attempt. Puck cleared, brought back in by Gorell. Here is Ethan Smith down the right wing boards, trying to pass it in front. Hudson whiffs on it. Still out in front of the net. Here's Zentar turning and shooting, and he missed. Missed it to the right of Cox. Now Hudson trying to come out in front. Hudson Honeybone gets the puck away from him. And it's sliding through center back into the Mount Juliet zone. Going to come to a stop inside the left circle. Picked up by Jackson Blevins. And now here's a chance. Jordan Antar moving, got a goal shot, steered away. Jordan Antar came off the bench, got a pass to the blue line, carried it down the slot. Got off a shot that went off of Maddie Cox's blocker into the netting above the glass. She makes a big breakaway save on Mount Juliet's best player and keeps it 3-2 Ensworth with 3:54 to go. in the second as the Ice Tigers were caught out on a change. Draws to Cox's right. One by Ensworth. There's a shot. Misses the net to the left of Hulsey. It was from Sully Henson. Puck out on the far side and cleared by Mount Juliet. This would go for an icing. Nope, waved off. They said it touched off an Ensworth stick and its way out of the zone. Or on its way down, I should say. Here's Clayton Forbes now, right wing side of the Mount Juliet zone. Trying to pass it off to the slot, intercepted by Shoria Aurora. Carter Spencer brings the puck out to center, but he banks it off of Sully Henson, who tries to send it back the other way. Henson tried to tap it around Parker Triplett, who kept it away from him. Triplett past the red line, dumps it into the Ensworth zone. Now the puck out in front for Aurora and a shot. Oh, man, the puck came right to Aurora at the front of the net, and his shot went off the left arm of Matty Cox. Puck cleared out by Ensworth. And a shot from the slot misses the net to the left of Hulsey. That was from Tashka Owns Different Horses. Reed Spencer dumps the puck back into the Ensworth zone. Calling for it at center all alone is Henry Azer. He moves to the far boards. No correction, it's Austin Regal. Hey, Azer is out there, though, and he has the puck now. Hands it off to Regal, right wing side of the Mount Juliet zone. Tried to go out in front, but the puck got away from him, and Hulsey taps it away. Puck cleared out by Mount Juliet. This will be for an icing. Matty Cox will let it go. 2 minutes left in the second, 3-2 Ensworth. Draws to Hulsey's left. One by Ensworth and a shot off his right shoulder. Oh, and then Henry Azer whiffs on the rebound in front. The initial shot came from Logan Lakoff. Here is Ethan Smith. Right wing side of the Ensworth zone. A shot steered away by Matty Cox. Now Juliet trying to get the puck out in front. Intercepted and taken away by Ensworth. And now moving to the front of the net. A shot stopped by Hulsey. It went in. Shot stopped by Hulsey, but the rebound was knocked in. It was Henry Azer. He'd actually drawn a penalty before he scored. I don't know if he was going to get a penalty shot or if Ensworth were going to get a power play. No matter. They go up 4-2 with 92 seconds to go in the second. Draw one by Ensworth. Flipped into the Mount Juliet zone, but Azer couldn't get to it. He fell over. The clock is still not started. And Hulsey gloves and hangs onto the shot. The clock has now been started. And paused with 84 seconds left in the period. Now it's been reset to 88. It should actually be down to like a minute 15. Draw is going to be to Hulsey's left. Draw one by Mount Juliet. Here's Trenton Gorell passing it ahead to Ethan Smith. Smith out at center. Now Jordan Antar. He's got to wait for one of his teammates to get back outside. It's Winston Hudson. And now here is Antar back in the Ensworth zone on the right wing side. Behind the net, sending it around to the far side boards. Under a minute left in the second. Parker Triplett clearing it out of the Mount Juliet zone. Hudson Honeybone with it now for Ensworth. Passing it ahead to Trex Hooper. Hooper back into the Mount Juliet zone. High slot. Puck tapped, or he got his stick lifted for a moment by Jordan Antar. Puts it in front for Honeybone. A shot stopped. And Halsey somehow keeps it out of the net. Even though he got turned around 180 and was facing the inboards, he had it underneath his left leg pad. Shepard Halsey is the reason that Ensworth have not scored 10 goals in this game. 31.2 seconds left in the second. 4-2 Ensworth. Draw is going to be to Halsey's right. Won by Ensworth under 30 seconds left in the period as Trex Hooper shoots it wide to the left of Halsey. Puck behind the net. Hooper. Hooper comes out to the bottom of the left circle. Passes it off to Lucas Tarquin. Try to get it back to Hooper. Hooper can't find it in the slot. And so it is taken and carried out to center by Jackson Blevins. Blevins back in the Ensworth zone. Sends the puck around. I think it's Asher Warren. And the puck in the inboards. And that is it for the second. There was a hit at the end of the period. Lucas Tarquin, I think, getting one of his teammates away from the Mount Juliet player that he hit. But in this second period, Ensworth outscored Mount Juliet 2-1. Henry Azer and William Towery with the goals for Ensworth. Jackson Blevins with a goal for Mount Juliet. And Ensworth now lead Mount Juliet 4-2 at the end of 2. Ready to start the third and final period of this one. Matty Cox in goal for Ensworth. Shepard Halsey still in goal for Mount Juliet for this third period. Ensworth will carry the puck my left to right. Mount Juliet from my right to left. Reed Spencer called for roughing right at the end of the second. So Ensworth are going to start this third period on the power play, leading 4-2. And I checked the game sheet. The William Towery goal early in the second period has been given to Logan Lakoff. I guess he got a deflection. Did you score it? Did you get a touch? So it was you all the way? Okay, so I tipped it. Oh, you tipped it? Here's Trex Hooper in the Mount Juliet zone. And now here is Ethan Smith inside the Ensworth zone, puck taken away. And now Hudson Honeybone, right wing side of the Mount Juliet zone. Passing across to the left point, Talon Gill passing down. Honeybone passing it back down low again. It's Hooper behind the net. Leaving it in the left wing corner or dropping it to the left wing corner. Puck put out in front, but deflected away from Hooper by Mount Juliet stick, and the Bears will clear. Well under a minute left in the power play for Ensworth. Here's Henry Azer. Around the back of the net. Under 30 seconds left the power play for Ensworth. Try to pass it up top to Logan Lakoff. And went off a Mount Juliet stick and out of the zone. Here's Carter Spencer banging it off the inboards of the Ensworth end. Puck out on the far side. Picked up by Clayton Roach. Roach carrying it into the Mount Juliet zone. Cleared out to center. Penalty time against Mount Juliet is up. They're back at even strength. Puck back in the Ensworth zone. Towery passing it over to Lakoff. Ahead to Clayton Roach, but it went off his stick and back into the Mount Juliet zone. Cleared out by the Bears. Puck put out in front of the Ensworth net by Carter Spencer. He shot it wide to the left of Matty Cox, and now back the other way goes Austin Regal. Left wing side of the Mount Juliet zone gets off a slap shot that went off of the back-checking Trenton Gorell and slowed way down. Now here's Reed Spencer into the Ensworth zone, brought down from behind by Logan Lakoff, who's going to go to the box for it unless Mount Juliet can score here. Nope. Pass attempt by Shoria Aurora intercepted. Intercepted by, I think, is it Roach or Regal? It's Clayton Roach who intercepted that. Are we going to have a penalty or? Okay, Lakoff's going to go to the box for hooking. 11 minutes to go in the game. Mount Juliet back on the power play, trailing 4-2. Coming up next, it'll be JP2MLK GCS taking on Page Summit. Ensworth won the draw, get it out of the zone, which puck was dropped to the left of Matty Cox. Now it's back deep in the Ensworth end. Clayton Forbes behind his own net trying to ice it. Held in by Jordan Antar at the right point. Antar's shot, score! Antar from just above the right faceoff dot fires it into the roof of the net for his second goal of the game. And it is 4-3 Ensworth as Mount Juliet score their second power play goal of the contest. 4-3 Ensworth with 10:34 to go. They have scored 3 goals on just 15 shots, Mount Juliet. Ensworth have 32. Ensworth with a puck off the draw. And it's going to end up being iced by Clayton Forbes from just inside his own blue line. Juliet with the puck off the draw, Ethan Smith. Carrying it around to the blue line, and a shot to the right wing stopped by Cox. And the rebound cleared away from the front of the net. Puck put out in front again. Here's Antar moving back to the right circle, a shot into the chest of Cox. Puck out on the far board, Sully Henson trying to clear, knocked down at the right point. Nope, they said it just went over the blue line. And Jacob Turner sent it back in, offside. Jacob Turner was just standing behind the blue line when he dropped the puck back in.
So he tipped that first period goal. They're saying that you tipped his shot in the second. Okay. So does he have 2 goals or 1?
No, so the first period I came in on that far side and shot and scored.
Oh.
He shot the second time and I tipped it and he scored. So yeah, like, well, it was like weird. It's like, yeah, that.
Okay. So you each have a goal. Okay.
All right, something confusing in the game sheet. I had to talk to William Towery and Logan Lakeoff. They do each have a goal. Here's Hudson Honeybone, left wing side of the Mount Juliet zone, taking a shot. Stopped and held onto by Shepard Holsey. Man, Shepard Holsey has been so good. He's the reason it's 4-3 with 9:19 to go. 4-3 Ensworth. Because, I mean, Ensworth could have buried this team a long time ago in this game. Draws to the right of Holsey. Won by Ensworth. Trex Hooper tried to put it out in front. Nobody in a white sweater there to get it. It's cleared by Mount Juliet. Carter Spencer and his horse trying to beat the icing call. He can't. Draw is to Spencer's right. Holsey's right. Jordan Antar with it for Mount Juliet. Banks it off the near glass, and it's going to go for an icing. Draws to Holsey's left. Won by Mount Juliet. Gavin Costanza out at center. Into the Ensworth zone. Pushed down on the right wing side. And Ensworth cleared the puck out. Trenton Gorell dumps it right back in. Now Henry Azer passing it ahead to Clayton Roach. Trying to hand it off to Austin Regal. Misses Regal. And now Mount Juliet carry it back the other way, bring it back into the Ensworth zone. It's in the right wing corner. Lakeoff fires it off the near side boards. Azer flips it through the air. Clayton Roach will catch up to it right wing side of the Mount Juliet zone. Oh, but Trenton Gorell got in front of him and took the puck away. Cleared out by Mount Juliet. William Towery getting knocked down at center. Puck went back into the Mount Juliet zone for a moment. They get it back out. Austin Regal with it at center. But then he gives it away. Shoria Aurora tried to send it to the front of the Ensworth net. It was intercepted. Sully Henson tried to pass it ahead to Clayton Roach. It was slowed up by the stick of, or slowed up and intercepted by Ethan Smith. Now here's Jackson Blevins. Left wing side of the Mount Juliet, Ensworth zone. Fires it over the net. It may have gone off the stick of Clayton Forbes on the back check. It went into the netting above the glass. 7:39 to go in the game. Still 4-3 Ensworth. Ensworth with the puck. Sam Melnikoff, left wing side of the Mount Juliet zone. Taking a shot. Missed the net to the right of Holsey. Reed Spencer will dump the puck into the Ensworth zone from center. Shoria Aurora keeping it alive on the left wing side. Now the puck up against the boards. And a clearing attempt, intercepted. Jackson Blevins with a shot. Slot a shot over the net. He carried it right to the front of the net and shot it over. Puck cleared out by Melnikoff. Dumped back in by the Bears. Carter Spencer will catch up to it. And the puck out at center again. Sully Henson with it. For Ensworth into the Mount Juliet zone of the slot, a shot over the net. Puck came off the glass out in front. Mount Juliet able to pick it up and get it away. Shoria Aurora, left wing side of the Ensworth zone. Puck tapped off his stick in the back check by Talon Gill. Gill pass to center but gives it right to Jordan Antar. Antar trying to send it back into the Ensworth zone. It hit off one of Shoria Aurora's skates Ended up in the Ensworth zone. Talon Gill brings it back out and into the Mount Juliet end. He gets knocked down as soon as he passes it off. Now Parker Triplett with it for Mount Juliet. Trying to pass it over to, or pass it ahead to Ethan Smith. That was intercepted for a moment by Ensworth, held in the zone. Mount Juliet get it back, able to get it out. Here's Trex Hooper back inside the Mount Juliet zone on the left wing side. Sends it down the wall. And it's cleared out by Mount Juliet. And brought back in on the right wing side by Lucas Tarquin. Tarquin around the back of the net. Score! Put it out in front. And it looks like it's Trex Hooper getting the helmet taps. Left-hand side of the net was wide open, and Trex Hooper redirects it into that bottom left-hand corner for his first goal of his farewell season. And Ensworth ahead 5-3 with 5:23 to go. Here's Clayton Roach. Into the Mount Juliet zone on the right wing side, right circle. Goes around the back of the net. Pass across, Logan Lakeoff, a shot missed the net to the left of Hulsey. They're saying Hulsey got a piece of it. They put the shot up on the board. Puck out at center. Roach brings it back into the left wing side. Clayton Roach putting in front for Lakeoff. Leaves it. Roach. I'm sorry, it's Austin Regal. Score! Is it Regal or is it Roach? I don't know, but it's 6-3 Ensworth with 4:33 to go. Was Regal out there? No, it's Clayton Roach. Roach leading the fist bump parade. So Roach scoring his first goal of his senior season. And Ensworth have taken this game over. Hulsey went down in all that madness, and Roach got to the front of the net. As a shot from the left point, Jackson Blevins stopped it onto by Matty Cox. There was a big crowd in front of the net, and Roach moved over to the left edge of the slot and backhanded it into the bottom corner on the right-hand side of the net. Draw to the right of Cox. Shot in the right point, steered away by Cox. That shot coming from Parker Triplett. Now the puck cleared out by Sully Henson. Taken away and brought back in by Gavin Costanza, and a shot from the right wing boards right into the chest of Cox, and she hangs on. 3:52 to go in the game, still 6-3 Ensworth. Gavin Costanza, freshman, zoned for Lebanon, but he's homeschooled. Draws to Cox's left. Draw one by Ensworth, but Mount Juliet holding in the zone. Here is Ethan Smith into the right wing corner. Now a shot in the right point, and Triplett stopped. Rebound! Oh, Jordan Antar missed the net. He would have had a hat trick. Looking at a hat trick of the wide open net, and he missed it. Antar's pass at center, intercepted by Trex Hooper. got knocked down. Asher Warren passing it to the Mount Juliet blue line, intercepted by Jackson Blevins, and he'll dump it back into the Ensworth zone. Talon Gill sending it up the far side, and no icing. Icing waved off. Trenton Gorell. I'm sorry, Parker Triplett catches up to it, but taken away. Austin Regal's shot from out high, and Clayton Roach to be kicked away by Hulsey with a right leg pad. Ethan Smith. Now Blevins ahead to Jordan Antar. Antar, right wing side of the Ensworth zone. Trying to pass across, intercepted by Roach. Clayton Roach. Back into the Mount Juliet zone on the right wing side. Moving in, a shot, score! Roach closing in on the left-hand side of the net. Fires it into the back of the net on the right-hand side for his second goal of the game. And it is 7-3 Ensworth with 2:15 to go in this one. Puck in the Mount Juliet zone. Here's Trenton Gorell behind his own net. Puck drifting through center, back into the Ensworth end. Picked up Carter Spitzer, shot left circle, score! Shot it over her left shoulder into the top corner. Maddie Cox's left shoulder into the top corner on the left-hand side of the net. And it is 7-4 Ensworth with 1:47 to go. Draw one by Mount Juliet. Puck sent back into the Ensworth zone. And it comes out to the blue line, and Sam Melnikoff clears it out. Trenton Gorell down the right wing boards of the Ensworth zone. Put it behind the net. That's out on the far side. Cleared out by Ensworth. Can Melnikoff get to it before the icing? No, he cannot. 65 seconds to go, 7-4 Ensworth. Draw will be to Maddie Cox's left. The net is empty for Mount Juliet. So Shepard Hulsey on the bench for the extra attacker. And Ensworth win the draw, and here's Logan Green in the Mount Juliet zone, shooting it into the empty net to make it 8-4 with 57.7 seconds left. And do they put Hulsey back in, or is that Jack Boyett? I can't tell. No, they put Hulsey back in. Puck in the Ensworth zone. Ethan Smith in front of backhander, stopped by Maddie Cox. He's got it covered. Draw to the right of Cox. One by Mount Juliet. Shot from Jackson Blevins blocked. Jordan Antar with a rebound. Drops it down to the inboards. 30 seconds to go. Here's Lucas Tarquin. Carrying the puck to center. Past the red line. Brings it into the Mount Juliet zone, but he fumbles it. And here's Antar. Back in the Ensworth zone. Taking a shot from the top of the left circle. Gloved by Maddie Cox. And she'll hang on for the whistle with 13.9 seconds to go. Ensworth up 8-4 as they're going to win this one to start the season. Draws to Cox's right, one by Mount Juliet. Jackson Blevins shot through traffic. Stopped by Cox. I think Antar may have gotten a tip, but it went off her leg pads. Jason Tippin shot in the right point. It was Ethan Smith getting a tip. She stops and covers. Cox stops and covers. And they're going to run down the last 3.5 seconds, and that'll be it. Ensworth-Lipscomb-CPA open the season with an 8-4 win, and Maddie Cox, in what could be the only game she plays in her senior season, gets the win, making 24 saves on 28 shots. Shepard Holsey did really well early, but Ensworth just took over the game late, and they poured it on. He kept Mount Juliet in it for as long as he could. But in the end, Ensworth ended up running away with it and winning 8-4. And Mount Juliet are the first team to play a second game of the season, and they've lost them both. They are 0-2-0. No wins, 2 losses, no ties. And Ensworth start the season 1-0, so they join that group at the very top. And we have 7 teams at 1-0 to start the 2025-2026 GNASH regular season. So the goal scorers in this one, Clayton Roach had 2 goals for Ensworth. The others came from Logan Green, Trex Hooper, Henry Azer, William Towery, Austin Regal, and Logan Lakoff. For Mount Juliet, Jordan Antar had 2 goals, and the others came from Jackson Blevins and Carter Spencer. Player of the game, I'm going to split it between Lakoff and Roach. Roach with his 2 goals, and Lakoff had 3 points, a goal, and 2 assists. So Clayton Roach and Logan Lakoff splitting player of the game honors for this one. As Ensworth start the season with an 8-4 win, I want to give a quick shout out to John and Leslie Hooper. They purchased one of our Buy Me a Coffee memberships. They purchased the $10 a month / $100 a year membership, which gets them a mention in our newsletter, which is published almost daily during the GNASH season. This on-air shout-out for all Ensworth-Lipscomb-CPA games I cover. And they're going to get this game as a downloadable MP3, although, sorry, John, I can't upload it right now because I got to get to pregame for JP2 and Page Summit. But you'll listen to it eventually. All right, that's it for the first game in our doubleheader tonight. Again, Ensworth-Lipscomb-CPA defeating Mount Juliet-Wilson Central-Lebanon 8-4. Coming up next, it's JP2 MLK GCS taking on Page Summit.